Okay, thanks everyone for joining us today. So it's evening in the United States and Saturday morning in Australia. We're really excited. This is our testimonial call, and we've got quite a few people who will be joining us and sharing their stories. So I'm going to introduce Dr. Kurt, and he'll be hosting the call. So Dr. Kurt Bisnick, his interests are in age reversal and healthcare. He's a certified wellness consultant, and he was America's top chiropractor in 2004. He's who's who in America young professional, or he's been that rather, and he's been running a private practice from 1988 till present. However, now he's been involved in a stem cell clinic. And so that's a bit about Kurt. He'll also tell you his personal story about being involved in a motorcycle accident and how he's come back from that. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Kurt. Thanks for hosting the call.
You bet. Well, Katie, thanks for always being there. And I'll tell you what, for everybody on the team, Katie's right there to help me out with everything, and really an excellent leader. And so behind the scenes, she's really there making things happen for me, and all of the rest of you too. Helping out, making sure that things are happening on time, and help me find testimonials for the call. I just really appreciate it. As successful of a practice as I ran, and like Katie says, selected as one of America's top chiropractors in 2004, and seeing 50 to 100 people a day, really, I'm just going to say none of that means anything if you don't have a purpose. And my purpose, I've been on this mission ever since I graduated from chiropractic college to go out and help as many people as I possibly can, to find a way to help them lead productive lives, healthy, happier, and really pain-free lives. And so when I got involved with Sizzle, it just really added to what I was able to do. And like Katie said, I was involved in a motor vehicle accident in 2007. My motorcycle got crashed into a guy, hit me at about 65 miles an hour, and I ended up in the hospital for a while. I ended up being disabled, and really needed a way of providing an income for my family, and that's how I got involved with Sizzle. And I'll tell you what, you're just not going to find a better quality product anywhere. And I always tell people, the thing about network marketing, the reason that I love network marketing is because traditionally we do have to have better quality products because of the fact that if you're going to go out, or if the company expects us to go out and share these products with other people, they darn well better work, right? Because if I share them with you and you're one of my friends or you're my family and they don't work, guess what? You're going to come back to me and you're going to say, Kurt, what was that crap that you sold me, right? And that's why traditionally we have to have better products. And so I always try and share that with people, because I think sometimes people think that network marketing companies, they buy up this big warehouse of whatever ingredient and throw it together and start marketing a product. And that's not at all what it is. It's really, in many cases, like you take a look at Sizzle, for example, the Mowers came up with the whole idea of Sizzle before, and they built their manufacturing plant 440,000 square feet before they ever made the first product. Holy cow, right? That's what I say. So what I'd like to do now, I'm going to just get started with some of the testimonials. Right away, I'm going to go out to Susan. And Susan, can you hear me? Can we hear you?
I can hear you, Kurt. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. And Susan, I'm just going to ask a few questions and kind of get the ball rolling here and show everybody a little format that what we can do to get all the testimonials on. Susan, tell us a little bit kind of what's going on with you and before you started using Sizzle products, what kind of problems did you have, and maybe give us a little bit of an idea how they affected your life.
Well, Kurt, just this week earlier, I was thinking to myself, and I was comparing my own results with taking the age pill to the results of others. And I thought to myself, I have no medical tests I have no serious conditions. And I didn't feel, you know, I didn't feel that I ever had a great testimony. But then I got an email from Katie just last night, and it got the ball rolling with reflection. And I then realized the extent to which the age pill was actually giving me my life back, and giving me my quality of life back. And in a nutshell, I had glandular fever in the late 80s and subsequently post-viral, chronic post-viral fatigue syndrome. And that stole my 30s, ended my marriage, demolished my career, and left me in bed, unable to support myself financially for years. And that became the norm. When I had enough energy to get back to work, that was it. That's all I did. I worked and I went home to bed and sleep. And I was in bed all weekend to recover enough to get back to work on the Monday morning. And that was how my life was. And I was pretty happy to be at work, and that was my connection. And I thought, well, that was my sort of new normal, and your new normal becomes your normal. But in reality, the reality was that I couldn't keep up with other people. And so went my 40s and most of my 50s, working and lots of resting and lots of sleeping. And then just recently, probably just about 2 years ago, a friend of mine said to me, you know, I stayed with her shortly, and she said to me, you know, get a life. And she didn't understand my situation. And she took me out dancing one evening. And I loved it. And, you know, I wanted to do more of it. And as a female, you know, a regular dancing partner is as scarce as hen's teeth. And as such, and it was amazing that as a rarity, such a rarity fell into my lap. And I had an opportunity to dance with a regular dance partner, which is the best way to learn. And I wanted to do that, but I suddenly found myself under pressure to get to lessons and to practice lessons. And I pushed myself. And I would get absolutely exhausted to the point of dysfunction, you know, already with weak concentration and memory, very weak memory. It would completely shatter. And I would have to take long recovery time. And I would sleep 3 hours on a Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. And I guess I moved into this wonderful world of ballroom dancing where I wanted to be. And I realized I was clearly different to those around me. And, you know, I have staggered through the last 2 years of my life, persevering with that, holding down a full-time job barely, you know, and then only recently, I'm through my second bottle of age pill. I'm nearly finished that one. And I started taking it, and I didn't even really think of taking it for this condition. Yes, you know, more energy, but I thought, you know, you kind of live with it and you think your energy is normal. And I started taking it. I was looking forward to the benefits. And I guess I didn't realize it. But what happened was I started, certainly, number one, mental clarity. And my concentration started improving. My memory started improving. And my energy levels started improving. And I stopped sleeping heavily when I came home from work. And for the last probably 3 or 4 weekends, I've even stopped sleeping on the weekend on a Saturday and Sunday afternoon. And I've been operating with a grueling schedule. We run an Airbnb from our home, and I work full time, and then I come home, and I've been dealing with that excruciating workload, and I'm suddenly realizing, wow, I can do all this, and I couldn't have done that before. And so I realized that the extent to which the age pill has actually given me the energy not to have to sleep, the energy to do what I've been doing and stay up late at night. I couldn't ever stay up till 11, 12 o'clock at night. And so those results sort of snuck up on me, and I wasn't even really looking out for anything. I was just taking the age pill. And so that is the extent to which I realized that has actually changed my life.
Wow. You know, Susan, as I'm listening to you, I'm just thinking about all the people who, you know, they just kind of gradually go downhill. And what do? They just blame it on aging, right?
Yeah.
And they just say, oh, I'm just getting older. I'm a year older. I turned 55, you know, and they start thinking that's how they're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
You know? And now, wouldn't it be nice if you can go out to all those people that you run into every day and you say, you know, how'd you like to feel 8 to 10 years younger, right? I mean, you're doing it in less than 2 bottles. That's how you're feeling already. Can you imagine what you're going to feel like 6 months down the road?
You know, I just thought, wow, you know, you've just got to keep taking this stuff. I just really can't wait to get it out here in New Zealand, you know, because there's so many people who it can help, you know, and when you do pass it on to somebody and they get results, it's the most incredible sense of satisfaction that you're being able to change somebody else's life to that degree, you know.
Well, Susan, thanks for getting on the call and sharing. We appreciate that, and we look forward to hearing from you again in the future and sharing your story as you continue to improve. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.
All right, thank you. So now we're going to run over here to the States, and we're going to go down to Oklahoma, and we're going to go talk to Bob and Debbie. Bob, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Hey, Bob. I hear you, yeah. And what a mix-up last weekend. We were going to do a presentation in your home, and it just didn't seem to work out. I apologize for that. I guess I, you know, really wasn't in control of that. The airlines canceled on me. But we'll get back down there to Oklahoma. You guys you and Debbie are recently just getting started with Sizzle as well, just like Susan. Tell us a little bit about what's been happening in your lives. What have you noticed since you started taking some of the products? And tell us what products you're taking, too.
Okay, well, I first started just with the age pill. Then we went to the Triangle of Life. And then I took a little bit of the Vision and TSX. And in starting, I had sciatica in my back and in my left leg, and had gone to some acupuncturists and some chiropractors and stuff, and they got it feeling a little bit better, but it really wasn't feeling just, you know, like it used to be. And at that time, you know, I just kind of like what you were just saying, felt like I was just getting old because I'm 65. So it's like, okay, old age has finally caught up with me, and I was ready to go to bed about 8:30, 9 o'clock, you know, and stuff like that. And started taking the age pill and this other products, and my legs started feeling better, and I thought, well, maybe it's just mentally, because I'm kind of a doubter. I don't believe a lot of things. You know, I think kind of people are kind of pulling wool over my eyes, and just kept taking it though, and all of a sudden my legs getting a lot better and everything, and I had quit the doctors that were going to, and I started sleeping a little bit better, and I was getting some energy, a lot of energy back. And after I've been now taking it about almost 3 months. It's about 2 3/4 months, and now I'm sleeping a lot better. I now can stay up to 10 or 11 o'clock and actually make it without just feeling like I'm dying. And the Vision pill actually changed my vision slightly. It hadn't done as much as the age pill had changed, but my energy level is now back where I was probably 35, 40, you know, type thing. And I can go and go compared to what I could 3 months ago. It was kind of like I was just exhausted. So it's really made a ton of difference just in my living life, you know, type thing.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, and you have that common theme, more energy, sleeping better, mental clarity, same thing that Susan was saying. You know, I'm starting to see the same thing coming from a lot of people, those same words. Even myself, that was some of the first changes that I saw. Is Debbie there with you?
Yeah, she's here.
Debbie, if you want to grab the phone and just tell us a little bit about yourself. What's been going on, and what have you noticed in the last couple of months?
Well, actually, the H pill has been wonderful for me. I think I've had 7 foot surgeries, Morton's neuromas, plantar fascia, and I started having surgeries like about 20 years ago. And I literally would hurt. I'm a hairdresser, so I stand a lot. And I used to work, like 13, 14 hours a day. And by the second hour, I was actually already like, oh my gosh, I got to change shoes. And I have 5 pair of shoes at work, and I'd change my shoes every so many hours because my feet would start hurting. I can now actually literally stand for 12 or 13 hours. And until about the 14th hour, my feet are still doing fine, which is like fantastic. And
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then in 2017, I fell and I broke my kneecap. In February, I broke my kneecap, and my knee was in a lot of pain. I was having a lot of trouble with my knee, and standing all day was actually making it worse. And literally, I couldn't bend my knee all the way, that I needed to do. Like if I couldn't sit on my foot or sit on my leg or something like that, I can now do that. My knee will be in the same amount. My left knee and my right knee be in the same amount. And which that's just, the doctor was even surprised about that because he didn't think that I would be able to do my knee that much. And then I fell and shattered the bones in my right arm. Back in 2007, I fell on the ice and shattered the bones of my right arm, my hand, and my arm. And I had arthritis really, really bad in my pinky. And every time I had a hard time hanging on the scissors. I mean, it actually hurt to hold scissors. And after taking the H pill for 2 months, I can bend my finger all the way down. I don't drop stuff. I have more control, and my finger only hurts every great once in a while when it's really cold. But I really couldn't even bend my finger all the way down. Like my little pinky would not touch the palm of my hand. Now it will, and it actually bends some. So that is like a miracle in itself. And the most impressive thing is I got my mom on it also. My mom was having severe problems. She fell in January, got her back hurt really bad. And the last time I took her to the doctor, she had a heart attack in 2016, and she was really doing really bad. And the doctor had put her on cholesterol medicine, which deteriorated her memory by 25% in 1 year. And
holy cow.
It was bad. It was really, really bad. And so she was basically getting signs of dementia. So I put her on the H pill, the Brain Vitality, the Omega 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, and Eternity. And literally she's back to work. She's 83 years old. She's back to work with me. And she can tell a total difference. She is absolutely remembering things. She's doing her own washing in. She is actually watering her plants, which there for a while I was having to pretty much do everything for her. So, and she can definitely tell a difference in her memory and the way she thinks, and doesn't feel like she's in a fog all the time. So that's some of the things I've had. I mean, I'm totally impressed by the products. And I use their skincare, literally the best skincare. And I'm a hairdresser, and I'm also a cosmetologist, esthetician. And I'm telling you, the best face products I have ever tried out.
And she's tried them all.
I have tried them all.
For those of you folks that are listening, for those of you listening to the recording of this, I mean, think about what Debbie just said. She's having such great results with herself that she decided to go out and share them with her mom. And now her and her mom are noticing that her mom's memory's coming back. At 83, her mom's going back to work. I mean, you two are slave drivers.
Yeah, we are.
I'll tell you another thing on that. My mom's 93, and I just put her on last week, the H pill, And she already says in this week that she slept the best of the last week than she has in years. And she's just now.
Wow, 93.
Yep.
Yeah, so when people tell you that, oh, it's too late, I'm too old, I'm not going to see any changes, I mean, that's just BS, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It totally is. Yeah.
Yeah. You bet. Well, Bob and Debbie, thanks for sharing. And I know, after 90 days having these kind of results, you're gonna stick to it. You're gonna keep sharing with other people, and that's the name of the game, is sharing it. Let's run out to Fritz Miller. Fritz, I'm going to unmute you here. So Fritz, again, tell us a little bit about what's going on with you. What products are you taking? And a little bit about what kind of change have you seen already?
Okay, this is Fritz Miller, and I'm in Pendleton, Oregon. And let's see.
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Okay. I started taking the H pill around January, so it's been about 6 months. And
Oh, you must be on speakerphone too. You want to go on regular? Just shut off your speakerphone.
Oh,
You'll get rid of that echo.
okay, let's see. Speakerphone. Let's see.
You remind me of Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah. Just a second here. Okay.
Let's try that. Oh, now I think you muted yourself out. Fritz, I think you muted yourself out.
Okay, how is it now? Can you hear me
There
now?
you are. Perfect.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I've been on the H pill since January. And how I got on it, there were two people that I met that had profited a lot from the H pill. So I said, let's try this. And what happened last week was I went to the eye doctor, and she said my vision has improved objectively. And that is my sense that my vision has improved, but it was nice to have that confirmation. Secondly, my memory is better. It's more clear. And I have a friend, she's a yoga teacher, and she said that her thinking has improved on this. And I think that my thinking has improved on this. And the other thing that's interesting is that things don't bother me like they used to. I feel a better calmness on this pill. It's I mean, I was fairly relaxed, but I think I'm more relaxed. I just say whatever. It doesn't, things just don't bother me like they used to. And I think it has helped me with the weight. I lost a few pounds. I more or less have kept a stable weight, but I've lost a few pounds. I'm at my goal weight now, which I think it's helped me with that. And of course, sleeping has helped me with that. So those are some, general things that have occurred. And I just think that I can remember things that I hadn't been able to remember. I can visualize better than I used to, more vivid visualizations. So that's,
yeah, I think that's huge, being able to visualize, isn't it? I mean, if you're a visual thinker and you can, have that come back, isn't that just wonderful? I mean, there just isn't another word. It's just wonderful.
For example, I can go back to my high school and visualize my high school. I can go back to the house that I lived in as a teenager and walk around in my mind, which I couldn't do before. So it's more vividness that happens. So that's I also in the past I had bipolar, and I think that's pretty much gone. It was gone before, but I think this has given me some insurance about that. So
You bet. Are you on the Brain Vitality?
Am I on the what?
It's another one of our products called the Brain Vitality.
Yes, I'm taking the, what is it they call, the Eternity and Fucoiden. I don't know what is, I'm not sure what Fucoiden is, but.
Yeah, so Fucoiden is an extract from brown seaweed that helps with inflammation. But the Brain Vitality, we just did a call on Tuesday on the doctor's call, and we were talking about neurogenesis.
Yeah.
And one of the things that with the age pill combined with the Brain Vitality, you're really going to find that brain function, that bipolar that you have, I can't say cure or treat or anything like that, but they found that if you have a high rate of neurogenesis, that you're actually going to respond better. And so that's why I brought up the brain pill.
Well, that's something I should try. I have been off of my anti-manic episode. I was on Depakote, and I'm off of that now for a couple of years. But I think this pill kind of has calmed me down even more. I have a greater feeling of calmness than I had before.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
excellent.
Yeah.
But get a hold of Sizzle and get some of that Brain Vitality, and then 60, 90 days down the road, let's get you back on the call after you've been on that, and go back and listen to the call that I did on Tuesday just a few days ago on neurogenesis, and you'll see why I'm suggesting that, because it'll help you build new brain cells. Yeah. And holy cow, it's just amazing. It'll make this stuff happen even faster for you.
Okay. Well, that's what we want to do, is build new brain cells and improve our memory and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, Fritz, thanks for sharing with us tonight, and you have a wonderful weekend, and enjoy yourself, and make sure and share your story with a lot of people, because there's just a lot of people who, like we were saying earlier, people just start to feel like, oh, it's just part of the aging process, and we have to be the ones. We have to be the ones that say that's nonsense. You don't have to feel old.
It's kind of hilarious. I hear people say that, and that's almost like a hypnotic trance. And people go into this hypnotic trance of, I'm getting older. You can expect pain. You can expect this and that, and they've convinced themselves of that. It's interesting.
It really is. It really is. Well, thank you again. You have a wonderful weekend, and let's run over to Andrea real quick up in Michigan. And I know, Andrea, we've had you on before. If you could share a little bit of, kind of update us on what you've been having going on, the changes that you've seen, and then I don't know if your friend Faye was able to get on, but if you want to share with us a little bit about what's going on with you.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, I thought I had this on mute. I'm sorry if I was causing extra noise. Yeah, I've been on the age pill for 8 months now, and the very first thing I noticed was improvement in my skin, and that has continued. It just keeps getting better. I've had veins that were on the back of my hand that were standing up like my mother's, who's 23 years older than I am. I'm going to be 64 in October, and the veins on the back of my hands now are flat. My skin overall is much improved. I did a before and after picture of my face from a little over a year ago until about 3 weeks ago, and there's a drastic change in my face. So overall, skin improvement, fading, stretch marks, things like that. The second thing that happened or occurred with me was I had discovered it on the 8th day of double dosing on the age pill that my memory was improved. I always had a really hard time remembering numbers over the last 3 to 4 years. And if I was transposing somebody's phone number or something from one place to another, I'd have to go back and forth several times to make sure I got it correct. When people just, read me their phone number, say on the phone, and I was trying to write it down, I'd have to go back and double check and make sure I had it correct with them. And, I'm pleasantly surprised and also very happy that, I just continue to experience things that I couldn't do before with my mind that I can do again. So that's really great, like all 4 of the people before me, So that's good. And about the 4th month, I had neuropathy in the bottom half of my legs. That bothered me every night when I laid in bed. I'd feel it, and that went away after 4 months. I had some nerve pain around one ankle. I don't know the cause of that or anything, but it was there, and it has pretty much all gone. Every once in a while I'll feel it, but it used to be like every night when I laid in bed I could feel it. As far as my energy level, it's been I think it's just been a slow growth of energy, and I think after 8 months you get used to your new level of flying, I guess you could say. And so what I notice is the days that I miss the H pill, or maybe I ran out because I didn't get my order in time, and I might go a couple days without it, and that's when I notice it. It's like, why am I dragging, and then all of a sudden I'll go, oh yeah. And so yeah, the energy, that's been great. And I do believe I've had also eyesight improvement like Fritz. It used to be if I forgot my reading glasses and tried to look at Facebook, I couldn't read anything. It was just hopeless. And now if I don't have my glasses available, I can at least make out the words and stuff. So those are pretty much the things that have been going on with me.
You bet. Well, thanks for sharing that, Andrea. And, folks, for those of you listening to the call live, those of you listening to the recording of the call, just think about it. Here we are. We're all aging. It's not just the world around us that's getting older. We're all getting older. And you start thinking about what you've heard tonight. People are feeling younger. They're starting to remember things, like Fritz was sharing, that he can remember the things that he did back in high school, and those kinds of things like that. And they start having these vivid memories, and they start having visualizations, things that they had in the past. How would you like to feel that way? I mean, seriously, that's the whole thing. And as we go through life, I think sometimes we just kind of accept that, no, that's just the way it's going to be. I'm always going to have that trouble. It's never going to go away. And that's how people are. And you start talking to people, and you start sharing with them, and you start saying, hey, remember when we used to do this? Remember when you used to be able to do that? And you're going to get people to remember that. And I'll tell you what, when I go out and I start sharing this story with somebody, last week I was in a room with 50 doctors, and I was sharing these stories with people. And by the end of the day, all 50 of the doctors had come up to me, and they're, what do you got? Tell me a little bit more about that, Tell me a little bit more about, well, how does it work? And all of those things. And people want to know. People want to know. These are doctors. These are doctors that are dealing with anti-aging medicine, and they hadn't even heard about it. So that's the thing. And we can sit here and we can talk about the science, and we can get into the nicotinamide mononucleotide. We can get into the nicotinamide riboside. We can start talking about adenosine, and all these different things. And all you're going to do is you're going to make people go, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't even know what you're talking about. Or you can just say, hey, you got to hear some of these stories that were shared on the call tonight. So anyway, folks, that's really our call for tonight. For those of you here in the United States, have an awesome Memorial Weekend. For those of you in the rest of the world, have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Spend some time with your family. It's a great life to be leading, and we're right in the midst of a revolution of changing lives. We're right here, and we've got the power of a lot of different things. Katie, if you want to jump on and maybe close the call, if you got any added things that you want to throw out there.
Great. Thank you, Kurt. That was awesome. I just love hearing the testimonial call in particular. It's really uplifting and hearing people share their stories because it offers great hope and it's just really inspiring. So thank you for everyone joining the call, and we'll be having our testimonial call monthly. So if you notice, I'm sure you will, improvements in your taking the H pill, then please jump on our call and share your story. We'd love to hear you. So thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.